everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got an interesting and exciting one for you. Wildly fun cards that inspire unique Commander decks. Let's jump into them. So, first up, and as a quick reminder, all these cards, including Masquinex, are going to be in a handy-dandy link in the description below, so make sure you check that out if you're interested in this card. And if you're interested in a deck around this one, well, yeah, Changeling Tribal is most definitely a thing. It is so much fun. Lord, Tribal, Changeling Tribal, whatever you want to call it. Masquinex is such a cool card. Artifact for 4. Creatures you control are every creature type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. By paying 3 and tapping, create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. Now, basically what this does is it enables you to go, oh, okay, I've got that Lord over there. It's like, all my vampires get this. Oh, I've got that one over there. They get, all my elves get this. Okay, all my goblins get this. Oh, I can just shove all of those into the same deck. And as long as I can get this out, oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless because all of my creatures are all creature types and they get all of those buff effects. It's kind of like hypercharging a Slivers deck to insane amounts, except you can also use Slivers. So yeah, this is a ton of fun. It's an absolute blast. If you haven't seen my Changeling Tribal deck or just the Lord Tribal deck, make sure you check it out. It is an absolute blast. And Masquinex is such a cool card. And Wizards really should make this card into a commander at some point. That'd be really cool in Wooburg. Thank you. Another card that would make a really cool commander. Kind of annoying, though, a little bit. But, yeah, Pariah Shield. It is such a fun effect. Okay, as a commander, it might be a bit obnoxious. But as a one-off card, yeah, it is quite cool. Artifact equipment 4/5. It's got equip 3. All damage will be dealt to use dealt to equip creature instead. You can go a lot of different directions with this one. First of all, you can just go, okay, I've got an indestructible creature. Cool. All right. All the damage is dealt to that. It doesn't matter. The damage will not affect it at all. Basically, I am invincible. Isn't that what that one character said in Goldeneye? No, I think. Not the video game, the movie. Anyways, but that didn't work out so well for that character. That being said, with this one, it would work out really well for you. Protecting yourself indefinitely, basically, until a creature is dealt with, or throwing this on a creature that actually wants to be dealt damage. Like, I mean, a Brash Tonder is a perfect combination of indestructible plus wanting to be dealt damage, or any kind of other enraged triggers. Keep that in mind, too. Or if you want to get really sneaky and really mean and you got a lot of mana, hey, threaten effects / equipping this, because you can't equip it to your opponent's creatures, obviously, just normally, but if you, I don't know, gain control of their creature temporarily, and you're like, oh, by the way, slap this on it, alright, here you go. Now, all of a sudden, damage dealt to you is dealt directly to that creature. So, yeah, you can incentivize other opponents to attack you and be like, hey, you want to take that creature out here? Swing at me, go ahead. And the player who owns it, no, don't take out my creature. Yes, take out my creature. Okay, cool, thank you. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, though, Conspiracy Unraveler, a 6/6 Sphinx Detective for 7 mana in blue with flying. You may collect evidence 10 rather than pay the mana cost for spells you cast. Now, here's the thing. I could have brought up Omniscience for this list. Yeah, Omniscience has a lot of deck spells around it. It is already kind of a known commodity for, like, a wild card you can build around. Yeah, and it's not going to say too easy. It is like a 10 mana card, but like once you get it out, you get it out. You know what works. It's just like, okay, you get free things. Everything's free, all right? This one, you got to work a little bit for it. That being said, with the right strategy, with the right deck, with the right build, my goodness, this is so much fun. Again, basically like an Omniscience, you got to pay for it out of your graveyard, but here's the thing. You can just chain big card after big card after big card after big card because collect evidence 10. Hey, exile cards of total mana value 10 or greater from your graveyard. Okay, cool. If you get some big spells in that graveyard, by casting them essentially with this, you can just keep going and going and going and having an absolute blast with this 22-cent Mythic Gem versus Omniscience, which I think is like a $20 card. It's still, I don't know. I haven't seen Omniscience in a little bit. Maybe it's like 10, 20. It's much more expensive than this. Next up, speaking of unique 7-mana creatures, yeah, Jin Illuminous is so cool. There is nothing else like it at all. It is just 10 cents for this amazing card, a 3/5 Jin with flying for 7 mana, and is it? Each instant and sorcery spell you cast has Replicate. The Replicate cost equal to its mana cost. Hey, yeah, Replicate is an insanely powerful effect, and when you give it to every single one of your instants and sorceries, of course, there's some incredibly broken things that you can do with it. When you cast it, you copy it each time you pay its Replicate cost, choose new targets for the copies. Yeah, there are definitely some infinite things that you can do with this. Keep in mind that when you are replicating, you are paying, so, like, you know, ritual effects might not work in the way that you may necessarily want them to. It's not like, oh, yeah, I cast that, cool, I get that, all right, I replicate it, all right, I do that again and again and again. Yeah, you got to keep paying the replicate cost, so keep that in mind. That being said, there are some infinite things you can do with it. I mean, Pact to the Titan, anyone? I mean, that is just such a spicy, weird card. That's like the 0 mana, you get like a 4/4, and like, you lose next turn unless you pay like 5 mana, essentially, basically, right? That being said, if you've got a haste enabler, congratulations, you've got infinite 4/4 swingy creatures, which is just so fun to do with something like this, where it's like, oh, yeah, that's a usually garbage kind of card. This kind of thing, though, is also, of course, just really good in general with, like, cantrippy effects. Like, going like, oh, yeah, okay, curiosity, boop, 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 boop. It is such a fun card. It is one that just breaks the rules of Magic in a way that lets you say, you know what that spell is? That spell is all the amounts of spells that you want as long as you can keep paying that. It is so much fun. Check it out. Sometimes, though, just big creature equals fun is fun. Sarah Avatar, a star avatar for 7 mana in white, an oldie but a goodie. Power and toughness are each equal to your life total. Whenever it's been engraved from the battlefield, or should I say anywhere actually, shuffle into its owner's library. Again, literally just playing like something that's like, okay, it's giant. No, like super giant. No, like the biggest creature on the board. No, like literally, like it's 40/40. Okay, cool. One-shot KO on anyone a good amount of the time, depending on your life total versus your opponents, but still. And if it's dealt with, it goes back in your library, which typically, you know, again, if something is shuffled in your library in Commander, you're probably not getting it back. But you might build an entire deck around it like I did, where it's very easy to get it back. In fact, it might be like the only creature in your deck, and like you just keep getting it back again and again. And again, at La Plani eggs, anyone? Let's break some eggs. Anyways, Warstorm Surge, fun with it too. But yeah, being able to just go, okay, Sarah Avatar fling, Sarah Avatar swings, Sarah Avatar all the above. You can have an absolute blast with this card. I love cards that to some look terrible and to others look amazing, and that really require you to just really tune a deck to work with. Bloodffunnel is one of those cards. Enchantment for 2 mana in black. Non-creature spells you play cost 2 less to play. Whenever you play a non-creature spell, counter that unless you sacrifice a creature. I guess I should have said cast because it's been errated, but still. Basically, with this one, hey, yeah, or I should say Oracle text. This one, it's like, all right, mass cost reduction for non-creature spells that you cast. That is absurd. 2 mana for an enchantment that just reduces all your non-creatures by 2. That's insane. That being said, of course, hey, there's a slight downside to the sacrifice creatures. But that being said, of course, you can make that into a massive upside in many ways. I mean, at the very least, you can be like, okay, I'm casting things that make, like, creature tokens. So if I've got, like, Secure the Waste, okay, I'm gaining more creatures than I'm losing when I'm casting that, essentially, right? I mean, you need a creature in play to do that. Or you've got things that can self-recur, or you've got things that actually want to be sacrificed, or you just have a way that whenever you're casting a spell, you make, you know, a 2/2, like a Tolran type effect too. You have plenty of ways to get around this, plenty of ways to make this work, and plenty of ways to take that downside to make it into an upside, all while gaining so much advantage for your non-creature spells, costing less. Keep in mind that counts like artifacts, and of course, if you reduce the cost of artifacts by 2, that can be so incredibly broken. I love, again, cards that have an inherent downside, which kind of can become an upside, too, that also give you a massive benefit that other players are like, I'm going to laugh at that when it comes into play, and by the end of the game, they're like, my gosh, I need to build a deck around that. This is that. In a somewhat similar way, we've got the Sib Sig Ceremony, a legendary gem for 3 mana in black. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Whenever a creature you control enters, if you cast it, destroy that creature, then create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. Here's the thing. Yeah, usually people don't want to destroy their own creatures. Typically, they're like, okay, well, I get a giant benefit, right? I get to reduce the cost of creatures by 2, but I also lose my creatures. Big brain move right here. Here's the thing, it is a big brain move because there's so many ways that you can take advantage of this. I mean, let's just say you've got, like, you know, creatures maybe that are, we talked about this earlier, but indestructible, like with Pariah Shield. Yeah, indestructible creatures say, okay, you destroyed me. Don't care. I'm staying in play. You also still get a 2/2, so it's just like, okay, the cost of your indestructible creatures is 2 less. You keep them, and also you get a 2/2. Cool. That's an amazing enchantment for just 3 mana. Of course, there are certain things out there too that, again, I've talked about, actually want to be destroyed, have a great death trigger, have a great LTB, or ones that maybe can come back, these self-recurring type creatures as well, like Bloodghast type creatures, or like a Persist creature, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of ways to take advantage of this, a lot of ways to say, oh, you know what, I actually want my creatures in my graveyard so I can mass reanimate them and get whatever ETBs they have again. Use and abuse ETBs, use and abuse creature effects, it's absolutely a blast. Check it out. How about a really weird one, though, with Endless Whispers? Creepy! Enchantment for 4 mana in black. Each creature has, when this creature is put in a graveyard from play, choose target opponent. That player puts this creature card from that graveyard into play under their control at the end of turn. Yeah, basically making it so that creatures are eternal. Creatures are just like, alright, I'm coming back again, but not for my friend. And again, but not for my friend. And again, but not for my friend. This is a really cool way to just really throw a wrench into the game. Obviously, you want ways to take advantage of this more than your opponents in certain ways. You want ways to just keep wiping the board. You want ways to maybe make it so that, well, you are making deals with opponents. And when I say keep wiping the board, it's kind of like one of those, like, don't have like 15 board wipes in a deck without asking your playgroup if they're okay with playing against that, because I learned the hard way that, like, players don't like it when you just wipe the board again, even if that's the most effective strategy for your deck, like Masquinex Dark Angel deck, or if you've got, say, a Planeswalker deck. Yeah, don't just wipe the board 15 times. Players don't enjoy that. That being said, Endless Whispers, very enjoyable. You can do some really crazy and cool things with it. You can make deals with opponents. You can say, okay, I like your creatures, you like mine. Hey, if they get dealt with, let's just swap creatures, okay? And they're like, you put Endless Whispers in play. Yeah, but we're past that point now. You got to be good at politicking for really taking advantage of this card, though, but it is a fun one. Speaking of my Selenia Dark Angel deck, this actually kind of worked out. I didn't really plan this one out, but Axmortality is the next card I'm talking about. Cool! Enchantment for 6 mana in white. Beginning of your upkeep, you may have 2 target players exchange life totals. That was kind of the inspiration for my Selenia deck. Like, I love Life Swap. It is such a fun mechanic. It is such a fun thing, and it just makes your opponents just terrified. Absolutely terrified of when it's going to happen, because here's the thing. Again, you can be in the best position of all time in Commander. You're like, I'm at 300 life. I'm doing great. Good for me. And then you're like, all right, I'm at 2 life. All right, it's my upkeep. I want to swap life totals with you. Okay, now you're at 2, and I'm at 300. Cool. You are going to just absolutely demolish that player. All that hard work that they did is now your benefit, essentially, right? You're at 300. They're at 2. You take them out, and you're like, all right, who's next? And you're at like 300, so maybe you get your life total lower. Because you can, again, in that kind of a life swap strategy, you got ways like Mischievous Poltergeist or Selenia herself to basically go, okay, I'm reducing my life total down to basically nothing, swapping it with the opponent, and then they lose. Yay! So much fun. Speaking of losing, yes, there are some combos that you can utilize with Hive Mind, but you don't have to combo with it, okay? You don't have to. It's fun to combo with it, yes, but, like, you don't have to. Any of the packs, essentially, are ways to combo with this one. Let's read the card first, though, Mitch, huh? Enchant for 6 mana in blue. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, each other player copies that spell. Each of those players may choose new targets for their copy. Basically, hey, all of my spells are all of your spells. I'm just being generous, okay? Hey, everyone gets the spells. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. So yeah, you could utilize this in a group hug type strategy, you could utilize it in a combo strategy, or you could just do some really weird things with it. And the weird things is where I think it really shines. That being said, again, obviously, like any of the packed cards are like, hey, you cast this. Okay, good job for casting it. It was free. Well done. But essentially, you're going to lose the game unless you pay something on your next upkeep. And again, if you're playing like Pact of the Titan with this too, or Pact of Negation, not Negation. Anyways, if you have the packs, yeah. Anyways, you play those, and your opponents can't cast them, can't actually, pay for them. They wouldn't normally have them in the deck. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I can't pay for that, post-cast effect, essentially, that 5 mana or whatever it is. I lose the game. You can combo. It's also fun not to combo with this one too, though. My Gigantha Karuga Populate deck is one of my favorite decks of all time, and yeah, if you want to check it out, go and check that episode out. I actually put so much time into that one that I literally, I drew, I don't even know, like 50, 60 tokens for that one that are like versions of creatures, so like clone versions of creatures, just because it's fun. So I did all that. It took a long time to do, but it was worth it because Song of the World Soul is such a cool card, and this is the engine for that deck. The deck doesn't have to have this in play to make it work, but when it is in play, my gosh, does it hum. And enchant for 6 mana, whenever you cast a spell, Populate. Yeah, being able to go, okay, I cast a spell, I get a token's copy of a creature token I control. At a minimum level, right, players, when they're building around this, are like, I got another sapperling. Good for you. Okay, that's nice, but let's aim a little bit higher than that. How about I got an extra copy of Gary, Grimwitch from Asphodel, or I got an extra copy of Consuming Aberration, or I got an extra copy of this or that. Things that have massive ETBs, things that have massive effects, things that benefit with more and more of them in play, things that you normally wouldn't have 5 of in a game of Commander. Again, like Consuming Aberrations, which is just so much fun. If you've never done that, make sure you do it at some point. Yeah, being able to just get so many copies of so many things that you shouldn't be getting copies of, this card is absolutely incredible. And when it comes to incredible, ThousandYear Storm is definitely a card that deserves that kind of a word describing it. Enchant for 6 mana in Is It. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell copied for each other instant sorcery spell you've cast before this turn, choose your targets for the copies. Basically, big spell go boom. You can do a lot of like little cantrips at first, essentially, like cast. Get a lot of value again. You can do so many cool things. Of course, ritual effects can be absolutely deadly with this. But of course, then going, okay, I cast a big spell at the end of all this. Oh, that big spell is copied how many times? Basically giving it like pseudo storm in a way. It can be an absolute blast to go, okay, small spell, giant spell, all of a sudden doing the most brilliant thing in the world and just dominating the game. Yeah, this one is just so much fun to play around. And again, it gives you a lot of value throughout the game, even without you having that incredibly explosive turn at that time. It gives you so much value. But of course, once that explosive turn happens, ooh, it's just so fun. Watch the fireworks go off. When it comes to instants, one I want to highlight that Alec really showed off the potential of is Radiate. Another kind of card where it's like, this shouldn't be an effect in Magic, or like, it is an effect in Magic, I should say. Like, no other place has this. There's only like one of the, like, Radiant Performer, I think, is the only other one that actually does this. This thing, effect like doesn't exist in Magic for a reason, but it does in this very small amount. An instant for 5 mana in red, choose target instant sorcery spell. It targets only a single permanent or player. For each other permanent or player that spell could target, put a copy in the stack, basically, and you get an extra copy of it. Each of those copies targets a different one of those permanents or players. It essentially says, okay, what's everything I could possibly target? I get to target all of those things separately. So yeah, you can do some incredibly broken, amazing, absurd things by going, oh, this one card that does this one thing now all of a sudden does all of the things. Like cleansing wildfire, like destroying everyone else's lands, replacing them, okay, with basics, yes, but also going like, oh, okay, cool, I drew so many cards from all of that. Again, basically turning like a cantrip that targets something into like, oh, I draw 20 cards. And that's just like the minimum of what this thing can do. It can be game ending, it can be devastating, it can be insane, it can be amazing. Check it out. Next, make sure you go check out my Cody Hypergenesis deck, and then if you are considering playing that deck, well, before you buy it, maybe ask your playgroup if they'd be okay with it, because Hypergenesis is a card that whenever I'm playing this deck, I 100% am asking ahead of time, hey, is everyone okay with a Hypergenesis game? And if they don't know what that means, I say, well, too bad. No, I don't say that. I show them the card and I say, here's basically what's going to happen, okay? I'm going to play Hypergenesis. It's a sorcery that has a mana cost of nothing. Hypergenesis is green. To spend 3 for 3 mana in green. And it says, starting with you, each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card from their hand on the battlefield, basically, or into play. Repeat this process until no one puts a card into play. Okay, so basically what this one does is you say, okay, normally I'd have to wait 3 turns and players have time to like prepare for it potentially, but I'm not going to let players do that because I'm going to be Codying it out. Because again, Cody gets things off the top of the library, basically cascading into them, and with my Cody deck, you can guarantee hit this every single time you want to hit it. And then you can also shuffle back in your library and then do it again. You're going to Hypergenesis multiple times with that deck, essentially. And what this does is it really turns the game on its head, because obviously players have to pay for things, but not with this deck. Because with this deck, again, you're literally like, okay, we're not paying for things. We're essentially all just going like, okay, dump your hand into play and see what happens. And then as the Hypergenesis player, you've got ways to take advantage of what your opponent's played. You've got ways to take advantage of drawing more cards. You can do it again. It is a card that really turns the game on its head. And again, you need to ask ahead of time if you're going to play it, because just surprising opponents are like, by the way, you thought this was a normal game of Commander. It's not. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I mean, you might think that's fun at first, kind of when you're early in your career in Commander. And if you, like, know the playgroup well enough, then, yeah, you can get away with that, obviously. But, like, do not do that at your LGS, okay? You're going to get kicked out of your LGS. I mean, you might not, but still, like, it's just not nice to do. Go check out that deck out, and then go ask others at LGS. Go ask your playgroup if they're okay with it, and pick it up. It's so much fun. When it comes to fun, though, what's more fun than stealing your opponent's cards? Infinitely. Okay, not infinitely, but for the rest of time. Eternal Dominion. Yeah, Alec again showed just how cool this card is. A sorcery for 10 mana in blue. Search target opponent's library for an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card. Put that card in a player under your control. That player then shuffles their library, and it's got epic. It is such a cool effect. It is such a cool card. It is a card that says, hey, you know what we're going to be doing? I'm just going to be doing this for the rest of the game. All I'm going to be doing, again, because epic, for the rest of the game, you can't play spells. Oh, okay. You're literally shutting yourself down. Beginning of each of your upkeeps, copy this spell except for its epic ability. You may choose a target for the copy. Again, actually, you could combine this with Hive Mind if you really want to. Be kind of fun. That being said, being able to go, okay, I literally can't play any other spells. Okay, what can I do? There are activated abilities that you might have on your lands or on creatures or on things that you have, essentially. There are other ways to utilize your mana. There, of course, are ways to maybe even copy this while it's on the stack. Maybe get extra copies of it. Maybe just have something like Twinning Staff in play to get extra copies of it. Again, Alec really showed just like the potential of a card like this when you really set yourself up properly, like a Hellcarver Demon. My goodness. But yeah, being able to just go, okay, I am super tutoring essentially out of someone's library right into play every single turn I want to, and being able to go, okay, yeah, that, not want to. You have to every single time. But yeah, basically, I'm changing the rules of my Magic game, and I am playing it completely different now. All right, have fun. And of course, potentially my favorite card of all time, Villainous Wealth. My gosh, I love this one. Okay, Wayfarer's Bauble. Okay, you're up there, but like game finisher kind of build around Villainous Wealth. Sorcery for X insult eye colors. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library. May cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from one of them without paying their mana cost. Yeah, you get a bunch of things for free off an opponent's library, or more. If you haven't seen my Joda deck, built around this one, not my very first Joda deck, which I think was the second or third episode on the channel, actually, which also was a blast. But my more recent Joda deck, yeah, being able to actually utilize this, the original Joda Archmage Eternal, not the Unifier, okay? But being able to go, all right, I cast Villainous Wealth for, you know, a decent amount in X, like 6, but by the way, I'm copying it like 6 times. So being able to just go, I think my record actually was copy it like 6 times, and it's like X equals like 12 or something. It was an insane game. It was so much fun. But being able to go essentially, all right, I am getting this on the stack. I am copying it. I am choosing all of my opponents essentially as targets with different ones of these, and just gaining a giant smorgasbord of cards. And being able to go, okay, well, this works with that, this works with that, this works with that. I have like 30 things in play now. All right, let's go. Oh, that gives all my things haste. Okay, let's swing. Yay! Yeah, being able to just get all the things for free, demolishing your opponents with their own cards. It is so much fun. Make sure you check that episode out. And again, when it comes to like a big effect like this, the way I used to build around Villainous Wealth was like, okay, get as much into that X as possible. That is fun. Yes. It's also like, oh, one counterspell stops you. And then you need like counterspell backup. Instead of doing that, just going like, okay, I copy it 6 times. Good luck to your opponents trying to counter 6 of these. They cannot. You're going to do it and have fun. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.